why we did the sound check right now at this point is because of this album, Prequelle.
Yes. So Prequelle
came out 2018, obviously.
Yes, and Prequelle is very prestigious because this is the first record to not feature a Papa on vocals. This is the debut record. Hopefully, knock on wood, but the way it's been, this is probably his last record or his last full-length record, featuring Cardinal Copia on vocals. As we mentioned, the ghouls, except now there are two new ghouls. There are two keyboardists and keyboard/percussion, and then there is a third guitar player. So there's 7 ghouls now.
Oh, there's an 8th one.
What you talking about, dude?
The saxophone.
No. I'm getting to
He's credited. He's credited as someone.
Well, no, I was gonna say, and this is the debut.
It's not a ghoul. That's right. It's not a ghoul.
It's not a ghoul.
That's right.
This is the debut of Papa Emeritus Nil, or Papa Emeritus Zero, or simply Papa Nil on saxophone. And I believe it's pronounced miasma. See, this is why you gotta
miasma.
Miasma. Thank you.
Miasma.
you can't be naming your songs, guys. But this was a real proving ground for Tobias Forge. Spoiler alert. He's the singer. Everybody knows that now. So, I'm not really breaking any rules here. Like a year ago, I wouldn't be saying that shit.
I know.
But, so, this is after the big trial. This was after pretty much the mass exodus of Ghost members, Martin Persner being like the leader, the de facto leader of this charge, who went on to reform, I should say, his old band that he started with Tobias called Magna Carta Cartel. And then they went on to release an EP called The Demon King, which we'll get to in later episodes.
Yeah.
I'm bringing this up for a reason. And then another member, the original Air Ghoul, went on to form another band called Priest, which is, they have a record out, and you should listen to that. Again, when they have more stuff, we'll talk to them. But the reason I bring it up is, if you listen to those records, there's definitely some bad blood between them and Tobias, or at the very least, at the time of their recordings. There was definitely some bad blood. And when you listen to this record, you can tell that there's some bad blood between Tobias and them.
Yeah. One song in particular is like that.
And See the Light being like, if you just read the lyrics, if you can't tell if you can't understand what he's saying, or like you're just not paying attention to the lyrics, read the lyrics to See the Light. It's a good song, but
this album. Now, I was watching a review for this. Was Overkill, I think. They're very negative because they're not. Hey, if you don't like Ghost, don't review it. Anyway.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think whoever you were watching, I think it was more like, they review like a wide variety of things.
I know. I'm just kidding around. But this is probably their most
diverse album.
Diverse,
unique,
immersive,
experimental.
How is it? Subversive, and diversive. Basically, people are like, there's going to be debates about this album, if it's great or not. I like this. I always said that they're like the black metal Beatles. This is their experimental time.
This is their Rubber Soul.
Their Rubber Soul. It's not Sgt. Pepper.
No.
It's not as weird as Sgt. Pepper is, but it's one like Rubber Soul. That's a good one right there.
But basically, this was Tobias's proving ground, because it was revealed in lawsuits and stuff that Martin Persner was kind of like the main writer. So Tobias had to really prove himself on this record and prove that not only was he a good performer, but he was also a good writer and composer.
I feel like the Ghouls leaving was the best thing for the band.
I don't know if it was the best thing for the band.
It gives them a new. Again, this album had a new feel to it. Had more energy, I thought.
Well, here's my take on that.
On the first half, had more energy.
I don't necessarily think that them leaving was best for the band. I'll say them leaving didn't hurt the band in any way. If anything, I hope them leaving helps them with their other projects, because I've heard all of MCC's stuff. It's good. I've heard all of Priest's stuff. They're good. If there's another Ghost-related band, who split from Ghost because of the thing, tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be good. But I hope this does good for them more so than it helps with Ghost, because I kind of believe, because you were kind of one of those people, and our friend Johnny, he was one of those people who's like, oh no, Ghost is dead. They might as well call it quits.
I was not. I was actually saying like, hey, well, let's wait a minute.
But I was I was like, no, I'm gonna wait this out. It's gonna be good. You just wait.
When I heard Rats, then I heard Dance Macabre, and I'm like, yes, yes. And then I was like, this might be my favorite Ghost album. So let's get into it. See, is this my favorite Ghost album? So I don't know if you want to do track by track, or you want to go favorites. Do you want to do the favorites?
Well, no. We'll just talk about the sound real quick of it, and then we'll just do like we normally do. No special.
It's described as it's supposed to be about the Black Plague. I get a medieval feel about this.
Yeah, the main theme of it is like the Middle Ages and death and survival. As Tobias has said.
This is a very different album, but I feel like this is the most atmospheric album they have.
Yeah,
where I feel like I am there in the Middle Ages.
This one really, if you put the pieces together, you can. This one's definitely an example of being able to really get an idea of what the story is, what the point is, which like you said, the Black Plague and death, but also survival in the sense of there's death, but there's still people are still moving on. There's still some people that are going on. And it's kind of like both halves of that idea. And I think, for the most part, this album captures that. Yes. When you listen to the lyrics, you get the feel for it in a lot of the songs. There's a bleakness to it, but not enough to where it's, like, depressing. It's one of those, like, you listen to it and you're like, okay, I can feel that. I get what's going on here. It's not enough to where it depresses you. It's kind of like when you watch a good movie that makes you feel, but you don't, like, go overboard to where after you watch it, you're depressed.
This album, out of the 4 albums, has, I'm not going to say the worst, but it kind of has the worst intro song.
Really?
Ashes.
Well,
I mean,
as a standalone, it's not that very impressive.
Oh, no.
But as a connection into Rats, it's good. That's the thing. Like, when you listen to, I'm not going to count Opus, because Opus, it was just that one keyboard thing. But, like, when you listen to Infesessimum, if you just listen to the opening track, Infesessimum, by itself, it's epic and intense, but it's not that, it is what it is. But when you combine it with Perispera, it becomes a better song.
I was like, this is it? This is what you start the album with? Like, the Ring Around the Rosie thing? I'm just like...
Well, that song's about the Black Death.
I know, but it's just like, I felt like it was a little...
I liked it.
It was a little, what's the word I'm looking for?
Cliche,
corny.
I don't think it was corny. It was cliche, but I mean...
not original?
But I look at it this way. A lot of times things are cliche for a reason. I think it worked, and like I said, it bled right into Rats, which
is to me is the best song on the album.
Oh, wow, you're dropping your best already. Interesting.
Oh, I thought we were going through track by track.
Yeah, we can if you really want. You seem to want to, so we'll.
I kind of like I'll do the best, the worst, and the hidden gem, and then I'll talk about the other ones.
All right.
But yeah, Rats is the best song.
Yeah. I don't think it's the best song on the album, but it's definitely very good. It's catchy. I think the drums are what really steals the show on that. The guitar solo is one of the best solos they've ever done.
And I like the ending with that chugging guitar. Like,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, if you've only listened to the radio version of Rats, you're missing a really good outro.
Yeah.
Because they actually cut it off. You know how, like, after he says Rats the last time, like, there's, like, that little outro?
Especially
in the radio version, they cut it out.
Especially with the rest of the song, where all their outros are more, like, epic and big. This one's, like a chugging kind
of... very doomy, almost. Next up is Faith, which I really like this song. I got to hear it live on May 20th when they played in D.C. And when they played it live, like, it blew me away.
This song was a grower for me. It was definitely like, I was like, that's all right.
It feels very prog rock.
Yeah, the chorus is very weird.
Really? I thought it was like
down.
See, I thought it was quintessential Ghost. Like, it was like if no other song felt like a Ghost song, Faith is it.
What I love about that song is the ending where like, it ties the intro guitar.
Yeah, and the intro is very good.
It meshes well.
Yeah, that's where like a lot of the musicianship. That's why I thought it had a very prog rock influence. I love it. I think the chorus like sung is very catchy. It's very like it's very easy to sing along.
This is what I meant. How I feel like the band has more energy. I feel like as a band they're more. Not experimental proggy. The band's more willing to go outside the bubble. With the original band, it kind of felt like they didn't want to get outside of that Blue Oyster Cult kind of like that bubble that much. You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I don't really see that, but again, that's. It's not
this album in general is very like let's prog it up.
But I think what it is more so is I think because of the fact that it's essentially the Tobias Forge show now, I think he's able to have an idea and be able to get the people he has to do it. And they probably probably know their place in it and don't.
But I feel it comes off as like the band in general has a voice in this too, like.
Well, yeah, because they're allowed to do backing vocals now.
The next song in particular, Miasma, I believe, is the next song.
No, it is not. Next is See the Light, which we mentioned. It's basically the fuck the other guys in the band song.
Let's go. Let's go through the entire track list. I don't know if this would be my worst. I don't know.
But no, like, I really do like this song. I mean, it definitely has like a haunting vibe to it. Like I said, once you know the lyrics, it's very obvious what Tobias is trying to say. But I think this is a very well done song. From what I hear amongst Ghost fans, this is one of their. This tends to be a favorite or a close favorite for a lot of Ghost fans, and I can definitely see why. It hits all the right spots without having to be too heavy but too light at the same time. I thought this was a really good song.
Yeah. Miasma's next, right? That's the one I'm thinking.
Yes. Now it's
this song.
Miasma. That is how we'll say it, because
this song is probably one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yes.
Bar none. It is. It's got a great bass. It's got bass. I mean, it's got a great groundwork.
Yeah, you mean BASE?
Like the first minute and a half is the first 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes is kind of like it has like that rhythm. They're playing the rhythm, and then they take that rhythm and then just go everywhere with the solos, and then you have like this Mega Man kind of keyboard.
By the way,
and then you have a saxophone solo.
By the way, did you catch that at one point in the song?
They do Beat It.
Yeah, it's the fucking Beat It riff. Whether they meant to do it or not, it's the fucking Beat It riff, and like that's so good. And then you got Papa Neil on saxophone.
I was not expecting the saxophone. That's where
I had the saxophone spoiled for me at the one show. They played this one live.
It was.
Papa Note played it.
This album, this song is great.
It's really good. If you're not, I mean, obviously, I'll put it this way: if you're not a fan of instrumentals, this one is still worth a listen. I can't guarantee you'll love it, but if you're not, this is one of those ones that can make a non-instrumental fan be like, I'll listen to that one.
Yeah.
Like it's not enough to change your mind on the whole concept of it.
And it's very interesting because I feel like this album is the only one that has, because Melorota had 2 instrumentals, but they were like a minute long. This one, they have 2 instrumentals that are like 5 minutes long.
Honestly, if I remember correctly, one of the instrumentals is the second instrumental is the longest song on the record, which I thought was a very ballsy move. It's not longer by much, but still. And Dance Macabre is next.
Catchiest song on the album. It's catchy.
It's got like a metal disco beat kind of. It's disco, but it's still got its darkness. It's still got its heaviness.
Really like now after if you put this and their cover of "It's a Sin," they're very disco.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool combo to do that.
I mean, it's really catchy. This is one of those songs that this is the Ghost song that if you want to get somebody who doesn't listen to metal, doesn't listen to dark music, doesn't even like dark imagery, but you want to get them into Ghost, or you really think they'd like at least Ghost music, this is the song you want to play for them, because how I said Meliora is the marijuana of Ghost records, Dance Macabre is the marijuana of Ghost songs. This is the one that's going to get a non-fan into the band. This is a song that's going to get someone that wouldn't normally listen to dark music or a band based on an image. This is that song that's going to get them to listen to.
Phil Anselmo liked it. He did this. Or this. I don't know what he did.
I don't care. All I know is that Chris Jericho, Josh Barnett, and Aleister Black liked it, and that's all I needed.
Yes. The next
Shout out Josh Barnett.
The next song is Pro Memoria. It's
good.
It may be the weirdest song on this entire album.
So
it may be the weirdest. Like if Ghost did a Disney song, it's this one.
Yeah. So if you watch the chapter videos leading up to the Rats on the Road tour, you got to hear a snippet of this in the third video. So a lot of people already knew the chorus. I thought the chorus was really good. It was depressing when I first listened to the chorus. When I was watching the video, I got really depressed. I was like, oh shit.
It's kind of if you just read the lyrics alone, it's cheesy and stupid.
Yeah.
Like, your friend Death, and you're like, oh,
but this is a band
Lord.
that's not afraid to be cheesy. This is a band that's not afraid to do that, and I think it shows. It shows that they're having fun with it. It's like, they're cheesy not because they can't come up with something better, they're cheesy because they want to. It's part of it. It's you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like they ran out of ideas or they don't have anything. It's like, no, this is what we want to do. It just so happens that it's really cheesy and ridiculous. And this song is really good. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is a song about, basically not being afraid of death, because death is a part of life. It's something that's inevitable, and why be afraid of it, And I think this song is really good. I think musically, it's actually one of their more beautiful songs. Like, if you took out the vocals and you just had the instruments, like, I could definitely see it being used at like a high school dance and at a funeral.
The next
and it would be fitting.
The next song is, I think it's the hidden gem of the entire album, Witch Image, which is, I think it's got one of the catchiest guitar riffs on the entire album.
Yeah.
It's got a good melody to it. I think this song, no one's going to talk about it much, but I think this song needs a lot of praise.
Yeah, going in, I thought that because I knew this was going to be the second to last song with lyrics.
Yes.
Because the song right before the last song is an instrumental. I really thought this song was not going to be very good, or at the very least not as good as everything that came before. And I was very happy with how it turned out.
Honestly,
when I listened to it the first time, now keep in mind, the first time I listened to it last night, at 10, because I pre-ordered the record. Keep in mind, I did not download a leak. I pre-ordered the vinyl.
Yes.
And Loma Vista, if you pre-ordered it, they activated the digital download you pre-ordered.
I was very happy they did that, because I was like, oh god.
I didn't know they were going to do that. That caught me by surprise. And I listened to it. And I didn't really dig it at first, but then I listened to it again, and it really stuck with me. I think I need to be more awake to listen to it.
I'll say this. It's probably the best. Like, the album suffers from a lot of Ghost albums where the ending kind of peters out at times.
You said Peter.
Like, it just kind of, like, Opus, like, after Satan Prayer, you can skip the rest of it. I guess after Ghouled, you can skip a lot of it. A lot of the second half of the album. Meliora is the only one that you can't really cut that many songs from the back end. This one, after Dance Macabre, it kind of like, there's some songs you could just, especially the song after this, the instrumental, after my asthma.
I want to try this. Helvetesfonster. Helvetesfonster.
After my asthma, I mean, this is the most...
Miasma.
Miasma.
I don't want people to keep thinking, post in comments, my asthma. Miasma.
Basically, this is the best atmospheric song. It made me think medieval a little bit. But it's one of those things, like, we already had a 5-minute instrumental. We didn't need another one.
And it's the longest track on the album.
And it wears you out. You're already like, man, you get Rats. You got Faith. You got, See the Light is kind of like it kind of slows you down a little bit, but then it kicks you back in with Miasma. I'm doing it just to piss you off now.
All right, but if we get miasma comments below.
And then you get Dance Macabre, which is a catchy song. But then you get into this kind of roadblock of Pro Memoria. Then you get Witch Image. Oh, okay, cool. And then you get to another song, which is kind of a slog to get through sometimes.
Well, I think what it is deep down is, because when I listened to it, I definitely know it was supposed to connect to the last song, Life Eternal. I think it was the idea of, to keep it at 10 tracks, like cut the intro, cut it in half, or not in half, because, the last song was like not even 3.5 minutes, I don't think. But it definitely goes into Life Eternal. It's neither here nor there. I think Miasma is a better instrumental. I still think it's. I mean,
it's one of those things like. After that song, do you need another instrumental?
But by that same token, it doesn't. It still shows off the strength of this lineup. It still shows off how good this lineup is.
Yeah.
While maybe not being like the best for a listener, it still shows off how good they are.
And Life Eternal is fine.
I like Life Eternal,
it's fine.
But I feel like Life. Honestly,
I like the lyrics and the idea of it.
Honestly, if you switch Life Eternal with Pro Memoria, I think it would have been a better end. It would have been a better ending. But either way, I mean, you can't miss. I still think Life Eternal is a good song. I think these are all good songs.
They're all good songs. But
and people might say, like, because I'm a big Ghost fan, like, I'm being biased. But trust me when I tell you, if you talk to Ghost fans, they can be very opinionated and very divisive. We don't all just, like, follow along. I just happen to like diverse music. Some people don't. Some people want only the first album. Some people like everything that's going on. Some people pick and choose.
But overall, I think the album is just like the first 6 tracks are great, and then you get into like the last 4, and aside from Witch Image, they're just like that's when they start experimenting and trying doing some things, and you're just like,
And you respect it, but I
feel like those songs.
I get where you're coming from.
I feel like those songs, after a few listens of the album, I'll like it more.
Yeah, like I said, first time I listened to the album, I wasn't impressed.
No,
but then the second time I listened to it, and I was really like focused on it, like I noticed things, I picked stuff up, and I ended up really liking this album.
Their cover of "It's a Sin" is great.
Yes. I wanted to mention
now Avalanche.
I was gonna say before we get into the review, the final verdict of ranking. So on Meliora, there was a Scandinavian Deluxe Edition bonus track. So not only did you have to get the Scandinavian version, you had to get the Scandinavian Deluxe version, which if you tried to get it shipped to the United States, it was over $300. And it was like $200 something dollars. It was but the thing is, it was expensive for them anyway, but it was already expensive for us. But the reason I mentioned Zenith isn't just because it should have been on the album, because it's a really good song. It's one of the few times where a bonus track is just as good as anything on the record. Yes. But I thought it was very fitting. If you got it, it came as its own 7-inch with the B-side of Cerise. But what was interesting, the cover was made to look like the Rosemary's Baby poster. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it, where it's like the green with the little baby carriage. Yeah. But instead of a baby carriage, it's a shopping cart. And I didn't get it at first, but I'm starting to think, like, I think they were making fun of the record label, or they were making fun of some idea of consumerism, which is funny considering how much stuff they put out.
Zenith is a cool song. Definitely worth it should be on the album.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a listen. I would say.
You could have took out Absolution and put it there.
I don't know if I would have taken out a song. I would have just, I would have just put it in.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really good song. It's definitely worth a listen. Find it if you can. If you can get it on the single, good fucking luck. But yeah. It's definitely worth. I'm just saying, it's definitely worth checking out.
This one had 2 covers. Yeah. It had "It's a Sin."
The Pet Shop Boys cover.
Yeah, and then you have
Avalanche, which is a Leonard Cohen cover.
And Avalanche. Originally, I thought these 2 songs were on the album. because I got the digital pre-order.
Yeah,
so
if you get it on
Yeah.
CD, they're on the CD. They're not a bonus disc. If you get it on vinyl, they come as a bonus 7-inch.
Boy, thank God. Like on the regular CD or the regular album, Avalanche does not close this album because boy was this a weird song at the end. It was a weird one.
I really
to me it's like Spiders, but
I really liked It's a Sin. I thought it felt like I thought it felt like a Ghost song. Like it felt like a song they would have written, not just a song they would have performed. Because because that's what
I was kind of bummed to know it was a cover.
That's kind of their specialty. Kind of like how Children of Bodom were known for covering songs, but in their way. Ghost is known for doing that as well. Yeah. As far as Avalanche goes, I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be, but I also don't think it's particularly that great. What's interesting, here's the thing that surprises me about it. If you listen to it, if you listen to how it's sung, both bonus tracks are sung, and musically how they're presented, you would think that the Pet Shop Boys one would be the most like jumbled vocals.
No.
Because you look at like how the syllables are and everything like that, but it's not. It gels so well. Then you look at Avalanche and you're thinking, how come it doesn't sound right? Like it didn't sound. It kind of sounded like the music and the vocals were for two different songs. That's what I feel like there was like it kind of feels like there was an error in the editing process. But I mean.
They're
good. They're not going to affect our judgment on the records, but I would say seek out Zenith.
Yes.
And definitely It's a Sin.
All right, so ranking. Let's rank these things. Let's rank these 4 albums.
All right.
Because after this episode, if Ghost releases another record, we're not going to do.
We'll review it, but we're not going to rank it until.
We'll add it to the rankings then.
Until we get a 6th album.
All right, so I'm thinking.
I already know.
I have mine. So, Dead Last is Infestation. I mean, Dead Last.
Infestissimo.
It's Dead Last. Number 3, this is a different one. This is difficult. Number 3 is Meliora.
Really? Oh, we're different.
It's teetering. I'm going to tell you now, it's teetering. Maybe because it's new. It might change next time we do this ranking, but I feel like Meliora, a lot of it kind of felt the same. Like sometimes I get what's it called? The Pendulum to the Pit. I forgot his name.
From the Pinnacle to the Pit.
Pinnacle. I'm thinking the Edgar Allan Poe. Sorry.
It's all right.
Pinnacle to the Pit and Cerise they kind of blend like the same song at times.
That's the idea. I mean, this isn't one of those like. Well, no. This isn't one of those. You're wrong because that's what they're supposed. That was the point. It's just that was the point.
That album,
but you're entitled to your opinion.
It gets to the point where like it's like, okay, can we do something new? This one felt new, felt fresh when they say, okay, they're getting comfortable. They change it to something else, whether it be good or bad. I feel like there's more songs that are more my jam on this album than with Meliora. Now that could change. On the drive home from work, it was between Meliora. This is the one where it was teetering a lot for me.
All right, so what's your number 2?
Number 2 is Prequelle.
Prequelle number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first one is Opus. I mean, that song, to me, that album is near perfect.
All right. Now I just want to establish, just because whatever my ranking is, just remember I love all 4 of these records in their own way.
Yes.
So just because one is ranked higher, that doesn't mean I hate any of these records. So as far as my ranking, Infestissimo would be 4. Prequelle would be number 3.
Okay.
Number 2 would be Opus.
What's number 1?
And Meliora it's my favorite Ghost album. It's still my favorite Ghost album. If I had to throw the EPs on there, I would put Popestar above, like literally right above If You Have Ghost, and I would put both of those in between Opus and Prequelle.
Interesting.
The reason I put Popestar above If You Have Ghost is because of Square Hammer.
Now I'm starting to debate if Meliora is too low.
The main reason is while I really liked Prequelle, and I loved it. I loved it. But it didn't hit me the way Opus did that first time I heard it, and it always hits me since. And it doesn't have the staying power that I think Melior has. Not that Opus doesn't either, but I feel like Melior is that Ghost record that's gonna get talked about 10 years from now.
Now it's down. Okay. I want to keep my ranking. I want to keep it.
All right.
But just know that Meliora and Prequelle are trading every minute. They're trading spots.
Well, just for laughs, if you had to throw the EPs in there, where would you put them?
I'd put the EPs the same order you did.
So Pope Star above.
But no.
If you have Ghost.
Yeah, but in between number 3 and 4.
Okay, fair enough.
And like the second album, it's just not my jam at all. It's just not. It's just not. Sorry, it's just not.
I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I saw you mouthing, but that'll do it. This is an extra long episode. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. Next week. 2 weeks.
Next episode.
The next episode, we're going back to the Guns N' Roses.
Yes, we're going to be talking about Use Your Illusion Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Yes.
That will be me and Joe. And green screen. All right, green screen Guns N' Roses.
And then put in the comment section below what other artists we should do.
That's right.
Yes. I want to do a lot of artists.
Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Click the bell for notifications for future videos. Also, don't forget to follow us on all matter of social media. We're everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Wait, go up a little bit.
We have a band called Meteor King.
Our band, Meteor King.
Yeah.
We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Check it all out. Just check it all out.
MeteorKing.bandcamp.com. Buy a record. Buy a T-shirt.
Yes.
Like this one, but in green.
Yes. We couldn't wear it today for obvious
reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. So until next time, I'm Scott.
I'm Wade.
Reminding you that rock and roll never forgets, and neither do we. We'll see you next time.